It's unclear whether Stalker 2 will get released next year of 2023. There's rumors floating around that the game will get delayed, but the devs have came out and denied these claims even though we don't have a definite release date, because they only mentioned that the game will be releasing in 2023 without an exact date, and a good portion of the devs are also fighting in a war, so who knows if Stalker 2 will be releasing in 2023. Thankfully, we do have some decent interesting alternatives such as this game. This is Pioner, and it's a lot like Stalker in terms of its gameplay and story. I think the best way to describe it is that it's like a hybrid between Metro Exodus, Escape from Tarkov, the Stalker, and Fallout series. This new trailer shows us the many enemies you'll fight, its unique and diverse open world environments that we'll be exploring in, and the gunfights that you'll be engaging in. And I for one cannot wait to get my hands on this game. In Pioner, you play as a former operative who survives in the world after a technological disaster, set in a Soviet island isolated from the mainland. So you'll have two primary objectives, which is to find and rescue your comrades and to investigate the mystical Mogilnik station. Your main goals will be to survive and explore the many locations this game has to offer, such as secret Soviet underground factories, machines and labs, and also abandoned settlements that were inhabited by vermin and mutants. The game will take place in a closed Soviet island, isolated by a technogenic catastrophe involving a mysterious anomalous energy source not so long ago, used by the Soviet Union to maintain a giant network of design bureaus, bunkers, and labs. The game will have an interesting and diverse weapon customization as well. You can create or loot attachments for weapons and craft weapons themselves by using a workbench, and even use artifacts or energy anomalies as a source or details. The character progression that the developers have established in this game is also very simple, yet gives a lot of depth for this game. They implemented something called the influence level, which will not affect the character stats and will not improve character combat abilities. Instead, influence level provides access to new weapon suppliers, quest givers, and more valuable items. Players can gain influence levels by a variety of methods such as quest or quest lines accomplishment and trading/smuggling. You also have the option to play Pioner as a single player experience or with friends. The important parts of Pioner are the open world exploration, story, faction missions, and raids. You can either explore vast open worlds with strangers, fight deadly enemies in raids which will be a lot more linear with your friends, or you can uncover the story of the secret Soviet island all alone, which I think is great that the developers are giving you the option to play in co-op or as a solo playthrough. As for the PvP portion of this game, there will be special areas called empty lands which are scattered around the island and will have uncovered amounts of valuable resources and dangerous secrets of the Soviet military. You'll be able to fight against deadliest creatures with other survivors or against them. And you can explore most dangerous areas of the island to find unique and valuable gear. You'll also be able to join various factions to complete different quest lines, and depending on the faction that you'll join, you'll get to earn new valuable and unique gear by completing their quests. In addition, you will be allowed to make decisions that can change the ending of the game or the situation in a particular faction or area. The time of day also affects the behavior of most of the NPCs in the game. For example, wild animals and mutants are very active during the day, and the most dangerous creatures in the game, which are called the Lachey, who goes out exclusively to hunt at night. Alright guys, that'll be all for this video. The rest of this video will be all the previous trailers that were released for Pioner so far. Let me know what you guys think of this game, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Afghanistan has changed you a lot, Uncle. It must be exhausting to carry such a burden on you. To feel the endless pain and endure the nightmares of such chaos you have survived. But you, just like the others, only wanted a happier life, is that so? Please don't look at me as I am some monster. I think I'm not different from you at all. Please tell me, Uncle, do you accept the rules of the island? Which price are you willing to pay to find your happiness?
want to make a new raid on the burial grounds? It's impossible right now. The war will soon rage on the island. The Istoviki are fucking up with the brigade, and nobody is going to support us anymore. There is no Soviet army left. We're on our own now. Our only chance is to gather the remnants of Vimpel anew. Listen, Reaper, far from every one of ours is dead. It's a suicide mission, and to complete it, we need our mates. Yeah, they probably won't like it, but we have to find them anyway.
You see, I'm not mad at you. No, we're not the enemies. You just don't understand me and the island. You look at me, you look at the other children of the island as we are your enemies. But we all are just afraid of each other. That's why we feel so bad. That's why we feel so lonely. The island has given us a chance to build a new and wonderful life.
Who are you? Identify yourself. We are here to send you regards, Tavares folk. The chemical weapon has already been sent to the burial ground. The thing you do is just worthless now. Ah, you bloody traitors! Greetings, adventure seekers. Recently, we have announced our new game, Pioneer. Now is the time to tell you more about it. In this video, we will talk about one of the key features of the game, combat system and character controls. We would like to mention that the game is still in development and some aspects are subject to change. Let's start with character movement and controls. We have decided to stray away from slow and clunky movement, often used in other, more traditional survival games, and found a comfortable middle ground between arcade and simulator controls. So, if you're coming from any familiar shooter game, you will have an easy time to adapt without losing any scope for action. You can successfully employ various tactics and combat roles. The same concept goes for other parts of our game, from inventory management to weapon usage. We want our players to have many possibilities without overcomplicating the gameplay mechanics. Speaking of items, and especially weapons, there is plenty to choose from. Almost every gun can be modified in different ways, and some can even be crafted from local scrap and wreckage. Various modifications affect special stats: magazine size, accuracy, fire rate, the stuff you have seen hundreds of times. However, we have something special for you. In the world of Pioneer, your main enemy is the island and the threats spawned by it. So there has got to be a way to fight them, and convenient firearms are not always enough. For special critical cases, there are special weapon modifications called artifacts. The artifacts are the sources of energy in Pioneer world. Energy erupted by anomalies or by the burial grounds. This energy is both a resource and a weapon. With the help of artifacts' power, it is possible to create energy and incendiary ammo. Energy ammo is almost useless against the regular humans, but very effective against the monsters spawned by the anomalies and idiots clad in metal armor.
Let me tell you how it works here. First of all, everyone in your squad is dead. You are alone now. The island is isolated by an anomaly. Secondly, brutal gangsters, tough guys like you and me are at the helm right now. Do you understand the deal? I need the people who are ready to do the toughest things. Crazy sort of men like me and you. And you now are just my borrower. So, my dear comrade, are you ready to pay your debt? The storm has gone, and skies have returned to their regular colors. But the endless storm that took our island into blockade still remains. Yes, the storm doesn't disappear to this day. As survivors, we have somehow adjusted to new ways. We have rebuilt fortifications, shelters. We continue to explore the island and still look for solutions and reasons. But there is always a lot of distrust and hatred among us.
The island is inhabited by all sorts of scum. Mystification local freaks out of tribes. Brigaders are like former Soviet deserters. There are also all sorts of moronic fanatics, kinds of gangs, abnormal creatures, mutated animals, and some real
Короче, приключения на жопу себе найдешь.